you had these business coaches, and I'm sure a lot of them talked to you about getting content out,
Hmm.
as Gary Vaynerchuk did, right? That was his big thing, documenting everything, which I
Yeah.
think you do a great job of. Like, you document your life a lot.
Thanks.
Is it uncomfortable to do that, or has it
No,
gotten pretty natural?
no. I like attention.
Was it?
I
Hell
like
yeah.
attention. I like attention. And now I've been doing it for so many years. It's like my content brain is like always on. And of course, I think I do a really good job of balancing things. And so whenever it comes to content, I'm not the person who's at the meal and it's like I'm always got my phone out or anything like that. I can take a quick snapshot and then put my phone away or something. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I think I'm wired now to, if I see something like, oh, this would be a good idea for a piece of content or something. But I do like the interaction with my people, right? This is why I said I'm glad that I've stayed true to who I am, because I've built this group of people um, that are like me and that are interested in the same things that I am. And so I can post something up and I can say things and we can go back and forth and we can talk about stuff and we can enjoy the same things together. Right. And I think
Yeah.
that that's one really cool part about building your own audience. And I think this goes back to the fun side of things, especially recently, because I've been very, I've struggled some with making content, and that's what I alluded to earlier as far as like coasting goes, because in the past, I was making 3 Instagram posts a day at one point.
Jeez.
Back whenever I was building my initial following, but this is where I said like I earned my right to coast. But now it's more so like I don't put so much pressure on myself whenever it comes to these things that I hate the I'm supposed to do this or I should do that, because it's never worked for me. This is why goals actually don't work for me either. Like arbitrary objective goals that are set by me, like revenue goals or something like that. It doesn't matter to me. I won't listen to myself. I won't do it. I that's why I have to follow the fun and the curiosity, because recently, like the content that you've probably seen that I've been making is like these little like vlogs, and I'm just cutting together some videos and shit and putting some text over it. And I was just like, that sounds fun to me. Those take me a while to make, but also that's the only content I'll make because I actually want to make that content. I don't feel compelled to make that content.
Yeah.
Um, and so I kind of have to go back and forth with that a little bit. I need a little bit of pressure. Um, but yeah, I think I follow the fun, and I don't beat myself up about it too much, and I don't put too much pressure on myself about it. And also now that I've done it so much, it's kind of like whenever I do post a piece of content, it hits so much harder, or it looks so much better, or it is so much better than what I posted years ago, because I have gotten better at creating content and my thinking has become clearer and I have a better understanding of who I'm marketing to, which has also been huge because it's like me. It's like my person. It's
Yeah.
like that's kind of the best part is I'm kind of marketing to myself and people like me. So I know what I like. And so I'm like, okay, I know if I like this, my audience will probably like it too. Uh, and that's just something I've kept refining and iterating on over time. And even though I post less frequently, whenever I do post, it's typically a little bit more effective. Um, and yeah,
Nice.
that's typically what I've found. But you have to get over, dude. You know what? I actually I saw something. One of my friends posted. I think it was a TikTok video or it was a reel or something like that. But they were talking about cringe mountain, right? And so cringe mountain is something that every creator has to go over initially so that they can get to the other side of cringe mountain, which is where you're cool, right? And that you have to earn that coolness, right? And and so many people, this is why most people don't create content, right? It's because most of your friends and things, normal people, quote unquote, it's like they don't post much content because oftentimes they're afraid that they're going to get judged, or they don't. And of course, some of them just don't want to or whatever, and that's cool too. But a lot of people, if you tell them, hey, you need to post a video of yourself talking to your camera, right? It's like they will freak the fuck out.
It's
Um,
uncomfortable. It really is.
it was uncomfortable on the other side of Cringe Mountain, whenever I was
Yeah.
first doing it. Now I don't give a shit. I would totally do it anytime. But it's like you have to be willing to have the balls to go over Cringe Mountain, or be stupid enough, or whatever you want to say it is, right? You have to be able to go over Cringe Mountain to come over to the other side. And then you can realize, oh, you can kind of calibrate. And of course, you grow and you get older and you get smarter and you get more experience and stuff like that too. But it's like everybody has to go through that initial cringe. If I go back and look at some of my stuff And if I go back and look at my stuff 6 months ago, a year ago, 4 years ago, it's like, I hope I look back and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cringy or that's kind of whatever. That's not as good as what I'm producing now, because that does mean, oh, I'm growing and I'm changing and I'm producing better stuff. Like that's, if I was like, oh, cool, I'm producing the exact same shit that I was producing several years ago, like that's probably not a good thing. So I like that. But it's also, what's also funny is that on the other side of Cringe Mountain, whenever you're cool, like the cool people actually lean into the cringe. You know what I'm saying? It's like you lean into the cringiness about you, and that makes you cool because you don't give a fuck about being cringe.
It's yourself.
You're just being yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's all. Oh, shit. That's always what it comes down to, right? It always comes down to just being yourself and being unabashedly yourself, and that's all I've ever known how to do. And so I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I've had the success that I have, is just because I've always doubled down on myself. And I've realized that every time I double down on myself, not only am I happier, but typically it produces better business results as